Hi, my name is Nick Steever. I am a new teacher, or I guess I should say this is a career change for me. I came from a photography background. I spent 20 years working in the photo industry in New York City, mostly in fashion, mostly in commercial, different settings or sort of applications of photography. I have a BFA in photography from RIT, where I was, where I used to think they had a science of photography program, and that was where, you know, it was really interesting. That's where the technical background came from. But I was in it, as an artist, and I used to joke like I didn't come here because I was good at math, and the kids that were in that program would be like, I did, but I think I just was, didn't have the proper perspective then. And after 20 years of working in the photography field, I see how, mathematics enters the picture there. How, photography is a, kind of a mix between science and art. And, for me to have been able to work in that field for so long, I definitely got a different perspective than what I had prior to that. So professional goals wise, I want to be an elementary school teacher, a classroom teacher, in sort of the general sense. I've sort of floated around. My favorite teacher of all time was my second grade teacher, Sister Joyce, at St. Martin's Elementary School in Huron, South Dakota. She was the best, just mostly because of the way that she connected with me. I did struggle quite a bit when I was in school. I did struggle quite a bit with math. And I do think that, to answer the last question of how I was taught math growing up, was I never got it. I think it was so, after sort of looking at things in this week's assignments and stuff, where I see it as, it was all very procedural, and I just thought of the numbers as, hard for me to understand. And I don't think that I was able to ever really put it into a context where I could enjoy it. And, now I see math very differently. I see math as one of the few subjects that, you definitely get a true answer at the end of examining a problem. Everything else has, different, contextual elements and things that kind of, can make things much more subjective, whereas math is just, there's an answer, and so in that way I see it as a puzzle and in like almost like a game, and if I had ever seen math as a puzzle or a game when I was a child, I would have saw it differently. I loved games. I grew up playing games. I still play games. This is my, sort of my gaming wall. These books. I play games regularly. I love puzzles. I love. Funny enough, I love rules. Even though as a student, I was much more in love with breaking them. But yeah, so that covers my hobbies and interests and professional goals and how I was taught math to a certain degree, and kind of my feelings on teaching math. What led me to enter the teaching field was goes back to my photography and to a certain extent my favorite teacher, Sister Joyce, and many of the other teachers that I had growing up. They were very inspiring to me, but it was like one of those things with math and with science and with some of these different subjects that I struggled with. I was just really intimidated, and I always, admired the teaching profession so much, but I thought that I could never do it. Having a kid changed that. Working with kids in photography changed that a lot. Most of my photography career, or what I liked the best, I should say, was the stuff where I got to work with kids. I did a lot of kids fashion with stuff like, J. Crew and Gap and Target and, a lot of different other kids brands. But it's just, I love working with kids, and I just love how real they are, and there's no kind of pretense. they give you who they are and they engage with what is in front of them very honestly. And I love to engage in that way with them. And I love to play. And I love to connect. And I think being being behind the camera on these kids' sets, really encouraged me. And, in the recent years with the photography industry changing quite a bit, I got a lot more inspired to look into this. And ever since I've sort of entered into this program, it's just been really inspiring. And honestly, a lot of the stuff with math has been really inspiring. I do find myself, thinking about these things and how to gamify things. And a lot of that, really ties into math a lot. Math has a lot of rules. Like mathematics, there's different rules and there's different, I just love that I couldn't get past the numbers, I think, when I was a kid. And I was like, oh God, I'd get lost in them. But now I see it as like, this is problem solving. This is, when you're using math to solve problems, the numbers aren't just numbers, they are things, And when you're solving problems, it's a lot, it's a lot more engaging when you're connected to it. So I like that element of mathematics where it's like you learn how to organize yourself and you learn how to identify patterns and you learn how to simplify things and articulate things and visualize things and demonstrate things. And it's just, I think that it's much more than what I thought it was as a kid. And I do wish that I had that perspective because, I think it's interesting. I think it's a really great subject. And I'm excited to get in front of the classroom more and teach kids more with it. I do work as a full-time building sub at Myers Elementary in Cheltenham, which is great. I can walk to work. I do, this year so far has been mostly I've been placed in autism support because just that's where they need me. As teachers start, becoming absent or, being absent, I think that I'll be in front of the classroom a lot more. And I'm really inspired by these, the type of fun that we can have with these exercises. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this class. I think it's going to be awesome, even just in this first week looking into, into things and trying to articulate my answers for the couple of things that we're turning in has been super inspiring. And I think that it's going to continue that way for 7 weeks. And it's probably going to be even more, awesome as I'm able to play around a lot more in the classroom. So look forward to seeing what everybody has in this class. And see you in class.